I got engaged exactly 6 months ago and hated my proposal, so let's talk about it. Go back to part 1 if you want some context, but right now I'm just gonna focus on the photographer. Again, I know it sounds like I'm complaining about everything, but guys, I think you'll genuinely understand when I explain. So like I already said, we live in California, but we got engaged in New York, so my fiance had to find a photographer in New York. So he found this woman off of Instagram just from doing like a photographer search in New York. He didn't know any better, so he didn't really go through any reviews. He just saw her Instagram and loved the style of photos she took. And again, that's honestly valid because her photos were really good. It's just that she was different. Okay, so he told me they had spoke over the phone a few times, but it was hard because there was like a language barrier. So whenever he'd explain exactly what he wanted, which was like a very private, intimate setting, she'd kind of like chime in and say, oh no, I think it should be this. And then he would be like, oh, well, that's a great idea, but she really does want something more private. Like she kept advocating for a more public proposal because the background and the photos would be nicer. And I mean, sure, from like a photographer's standpoint, I get why like doing something in a more intimate setting might not look as pretty as like a gorgeous backdrop like where we got engaged. But I also feel like you should just say yes to whatever the client wants to do because it's their proposal. But that's not what happened. So we were actually supposed to get engaged on April 26th, not on the 28th. But unfortunately, it started raining on that day. And the original spot that my fiance wanted to get engaged at was outdoors. So he pushed it to the 28th because I'm really into even numbers and he knew I'd only want to get engaged on an even day. So because the date changed, the original venue was no longer going to be an option. So he was kind of scrambling for a new location to get engaged. And long story long, he chose a spot that was near where our actual proposal happened. And the photographer was like, yeah, okay, sounds great. Like, I got you. And because he was with me the entire time, he had his friend and the photographer set up the actual proposal. And even though he specifically said, I want this spot because it's more private, the photographer still decided to move the entire spot to front and center on the pier because he wasn't there to say anything because again, he was with me. And his friend, who's a very nice but like more quiet guy, was like, I really don't think he wants it here. And the photographer did not give a fuck. But that's not even the worst part. Also, just look how beautiful this lip combo is. Medium brown Smashbox pencil, MAC lipstick in Warm Teddy, and Kiko Milano 3D Hydra Extreme Lip Gloss in number 4. You guys are gonna think I'm exaggerating when I say this, but I'm genuinely not.